In this final lecture of our study skills section, we are going to be looking at test taking tips that are really going to help you to crush your AIGP exam. And the tips that we are going to discuss here are, first, this is an English and reading test just as much as it is a subject matter expertise test. Second, be on the lookout for questions that ask for the best, the most, or the least likely answer. Number 3, take your time. Number 4, use process of elimination to remove answers that you know are definitely not correct answers. Number 5, watch for unfamiliar terms, and I'm going to give you a couple examples. 6, throughout your preparation, I want you to think about the law of diminishing returns, and I'll explain what that means. And finally, I'm going to give you one quick hack for your test-taking anxiety. So the first tip here is, and this is really important to understand from the outset as you begin preparing for the exam, this is an English and reading test just as much as it is a subject matter expertise test. What that means is that you could be able to recite this entire course, all of the facts, the ideas, the concepts from memory. However, if you are not reading the scenarios, the questions, and the answers carefully, you will make mistakes. And if you make too many mistakes, you will not pass the exam. And so what are some things you can do to help you with this part of the exam, the reading component of it? Read the scenario and the questions carefully. When necessary, you might even read through the questions and the scenarios multiple times. Focus on key words on which the meaning or a question may depend. For example, do any of the questions or scenarios phrase things as being exclusively, only, or just? Those single words can completely reframe and change the meaning of a scenario or a question or an answer. Finally, we looked in the previous lecture at the different formats of questions that you're likely to see. For long scenarios and for case studies, you might consider reading the question first and then the scenario. Again, think back to the examiner's mindset. They will intentionally include unnecessary details or information in the scenario to throw you off, to confuse you. And so if you read the question first, you know what you're looking for, you know what you need to answer the question. And in reading the question first, you'll be able to determine, as you read through the scenario, what is important, what is unimportant. So you know what information you need, and you know what's relevant to answer the question. In the spirit of this being an English and reading exam, you want to pay attention to every single word, because all of those words are put there for a reason. Specifically, I want you to think about questions that ask you what the best, least, or most likely answer should be. For example, you're given a scenario and then you're asked, what is the best answer? Or what is the most likely next step? Or what is the most likely first step? Keep in mind that sometimes there may be no good answers. Maybe as you're reading through the scenario and then you get to the question, you think to yourself, I know exactly what the answer is. I don't even need to read the answers. And then you read through the answers and you realize that the answer that you thought is not there. Really, in a lot of ways, this type of scenario can mimic the real world. Perhaps because of a lack of resources or just a very specific circumstance. You don't have what you need or what you would like to have in order to solve the problem. And in this type of scenario, you have to think, all right, well, what do I have? What is my next best option? So watch out for these types of questions. Next, take your time. You have 3 hours or 180 minutes to complete the exam. Included in this 180 minutes is a 15-minute break. And so if you take your full break, you will have 165 minutes total. Distributed over 100 questions, this is approximately 1 minute and 40 seconds per question. Now, many of the questions that you get are likely to be really easy. You may not even use a full minute. Other questions are likely to be more difficult. Maybe it requires you to read the scenario, the questions, and the answers multiple times. For these questions, you will need more time. But on average, this should balance out. And my general impression from speaking to folks on the Discord channel is that no one uses the full 3 hours. People usually finish with more than enough time. So again, remember, this is a reading exam. This is an English exam just as much as it is testing your knowledge on AI and AI governance. So take your time. We discussed earlier using the process of elimination. Again, process of elimination is where we're looking at the 4 multiple choices, and we can typically eliminate 2 of those choices right away. This will then allow you to focus on the remaining 2. One of those is likely to be a distractor. The other one is hopefully your correct answer. This way you can focus your analysis on those 2 answers. Which one is the best answer and why? Another thing that you want to watch out for is unfamiliar terms. Again, the examiner's mindset. They are going to throw terms and information into the scenarios and questions to distract you and confuse you. Sometimes the question writers may include terms and concepts that they know you don't need to know for the exam. And 2 examples that I can think of off the top of my head, if I wanted to write a question to confuse someone, a term I might include in a practice question would be minimization of loss function or gradient descent. Now, at the time of recording, you're not required to know these for the AIGP exam. But if I were a sinister exam writer, I may weave these into a scenario hoping to confuse or distract you. So if you know the material really well and you come across an unfamiliar term, keep this in mind. It may have been planted there as a way to distract you. Another thing to think about really as you're strategizing your preparation for the exam is the law of diminishing returns. Now, the law of diminishing returns, this is a concept that comes from the discipline of economics. And what it does is it helps to explain how output changes when increasing a single factor while keeping other factors constant. And so if there is more and more economic input, but a smaller and smaller share of economic output, then you may decide, well, there's too much input, we're not getting great returns, so we're not going to invest that much. And we are not investing that much because our output really isn't changing that much. Well, when it comes to preparing for these types of exams, I want you to think about something like the EU AI Act portion of the course, for example. This is huge. It's really important. You need to go through that section of the course very thoroughly. But perhaps with that section or another one, you get to a point where, for you, increasing the time to memorize very minute details may not be worth the return or the output that you're getting. Maybe you can get up to speed on a topic and feel really comfortable with just maybe 2 or 3 hours of study, but to really nail down those fine details and differences and so forth, perhaps that requires an extra 5 hours. Well, is it really worth your time to spend 5 hours memorizing the minute details when you may only get 1 question on that content? As someone that's preparing you for the course, I think all of the content is important. It's possible you could be tested on any of this. But of course, there's some content that you're more likely to be tested on than other. And finally, I want to end this lecture with an anxiety hack. I don't know about you, but when I take these types of exams, I get really anxious. And what I've been doing the last couple times I take one of these IAPP exams is I walk in knowing that so many of the questions are going to be ungraded trial questions. And with the AIGP, again, you have 100 questions, 85 of those are graded, and 15 of those are ungraded. And so as I'm taking the exam, if I come across a question that I don't like, maybe I don't like the way that it's phrased, or I don't understand it, or maybe I simply can't answer it, then instead of getting worked up and spiraling out of control, doubting myself, I will simply think to myself that, this is a trial question. It doesn't matter anyway. Now, you don't want to do that too often, of course, because there are only 15 of those. But if you hit a part in the exam where maybe there are 2, 3, 4 questions in a row that really trip you up, instead of thinking to yourself that, no, I'm failing, just think to yourself, some of these are probably trial questions. In this lecture, we went over a few test-taking tips to help you as you prepare and then when you actually take your AIGP exam. Remember that this is as much an English and reading test as it is a subject matter test. Watch out for questions that are asking you for the best, the most, or the least likely. Take your time, use the process of elimination. Watch for unfamiliar terms. If you find yourself spending too much time or you find it really difficult to commit some of the minute details to memory, then you may consider the law of diminishing returns. And finally, if, like me, you get really anxious when you take these exams, if you run into a couple questions that you're having a lot of difficulty with, just consider them ungraded trial questions.